Hello, I'm Mona O'Connor, and I'm an estate planning attorney located in Orland Park, Illinois. Today's topic is regarding funeral planning, and I have titled it, Have You Planned Your Final Goodbye? As you can see from this slide, I am a partner with O'Connor Law Offices. My primary practice areas are estate planning and trust administration. Prior to joining O'Connor Law Offices, I worked at a couple of financial institutions in their wealth management department. Plus, I worked at a Big Four accounting firm. Planning for your death can be a very scary process, but I want you to know that you can include this as part of your comprehensive estate planning. So when most people think about estate planning, much of the focus is placed on who's going to get their money and how those people will get the money. But estate planning can also address your end of life wishes when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved ones. It can also address the associated considerations that go into that, as well as those end of life expenses. The following are some important questions that you should consider as part of a comprehensive estate plan. So first of all, how do you want your loved ones to celebrate your life? One option is a traditional funeral held at your place of worship or at a gravesite. During this type of service, there is typically singing of certain hymns and reading of religious texts. The purpose or primary focus of this service is to mourn your passing. You may already know the hymns and the scriptures that are meaningful to you and that you want read at your funeral. These choices can be easily documented so that your loved ones are aware and that they can make the arrangements appropriately. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you communicate where you have placed this information so that they can locate it after your passing. Or you may prefer a celebration of life as a way to mark your passing. This type of a service can be held anywhere you or your loved ones feel is appropriate, and it can be customized to represent your personality, your wishes, and your interests. Attendees can share stories, photos can be displayed, and home videos could even be shown during the celebration. The primary focus is to celebrate your life, not necessarily mourn your passing. Because it's not as formal as a funeral, a celebration of life is a great opportunity for you to customize the event to reflect your personality, your interests, and your wishes. If you have very specific wishes about how you would like this celebration to be executed, properly documenting the details can be of great help to your loved ones. Just make sure you tell them where they can find the document after you have passed away. Another alternative is a memorial service. This type of a service is similar to a funeral in terms of formality, if that's what you want, but any remains are not present. It can also be as informal as a celebration of life. Not everyone wants a service or a celebration when they pass away, and that's okay. This could be due to a variety of reasons. First of all, you may not have a large circle of family and friends. It could be that none of them are located in this state or in this country, or you may have gotten to that point in your life where your family circle and your friend circle is diminished. You may prefer not to spend that kind of money on a type of service for you. Rather, you would want that money to go to your loved ones for their benefit. And last but not least, you might be a private person and you may not want that personal information about your passing to be shared. If you would like to not have any service or celebration, it is critically important that your loved ones know about that. Without this knowledge, your loved ones may feel obligated to hold a service or a celebration of life. This information can save your loved ones time, can save them money, and can save them a lot of stress. By planning ahead, you can make your wishes known and ease the stress that comes with a loved one's passing. It's important to note that depending upon the state where you live, a document outlining your wishes about your funeral or a celebration of life may not be legally binding. However, by putting your wishes in writing, your loved ones will know what you want and can use that information when they are making the final arrangements. So, how do you want to say goodbye? While many people focus on the official documents that are contained in an estate plan, like a will or a trust, those documents only handle your stuff. But an estate plan can also include more personal touches to help you say goodbye to your loved ones. If you're someone who loves to write, or you find it easier to communicate through the written word, leaving a letter to your loved ones can give you the opportunity to convey your thoughts and your wishes that you would like to leave for those loved ones. You could address your loved ones generally if the information that you want to impart or to communicate is general in nature and it contains a wish for all of them. Alternatively, if you have specific information that you want to communicate to certain individuals, you can write a letter to each person. Depending on the size of your circle of friends and family, writing these letters to individuals can be quite an undertaking. But this gives you the opportunity to reiterate things that you may have already told them over the years, or to tell them something new that you want them to remember. In these letters, you can talk about your relationship, share important lessons that you've learned, and provide advice. Not only will the information in the letters be important to the recipient, having a tangible gift from you can also help in their mourning process. If you prefer to speak from your heart, a video could allow you to have more of a conversation, albeit a one-sided conversation. Just like writing a letter, you can address your loved ones and your family or friends as a group, or you may choose to record individual videos. Not only will you be able to convey the same information that you would put in a letter, your recipient will also have the added joy of hearing you speak the words and seeing you as you are saying goodbye. What do you want to have done with your body? This may be a very uncomfortable subject, but planning ahead can save your loved ones time and can give them the peace of mind that they are carrying out your wishes. There are many options available to you. Those include being buried in a casket, being cremated, donating your body to research or educational purposes. Some people have even chosen to become a diamond. It's important to note, again, that depending upon the state in which you live, a document that outlines your wishes for your remains may not be legally binding. However, having this information will allow your loved ones to know what your wishes are, and they will be able to have this information when they're making your final arrangements. How will all of this be paid for, in addition to all of those end-of-life expenses? So depending upon the extent of your wishes and the anticipated cost of it, there are many different options for allocating money to cover these expenses. The following are just some of the options that are available to you. First, depending upon your financial situation, you could decide to take a sum of money that you believe will be enough to cover your end-of-life expenses, and then deposit that money into a savings account that earns a higher interest rate. You would then name a trusted individual as the payable on death beneficiary on that account. And that individual would use those funds to pay for your end-of-life expenses. Now, I have to make it very clear that the person that you name as the beneficiary is someone that you trust implicitly will utilize that money for your wishes. rather than just pocketing the money. Second, you may want to prepay your funeral and burial expenses with a funeral home or a cemetery. Again, this is dependent upon your own unique financial situation. Under this scenario, you would sign a prepaid burial contract during your lifetime and pay those expenses now. The money is generally then utilized to purchase a life insurance policy, and that pays for the funeral and burial at the time of your death. The money would be paid to the funeral home that is handling your services, or it would be paid to the cemetery that is also handling your burial. If this is the option that you select, it is absolutely imperative that you tell your loved ones that you have prepaid these expenses and you inform them where they can find the necessary paperwork that they're going to need after your passing. Third, you could purchase the final expense and burial insurance yourself. This is a special type of insurance policy that you purchase to pay for your funeral cost, your medical bills, and other end-of-life expenses, such as your outstanding debts. You name a beneficiary on the policy. Again, this needs to be someone that you trust implicitly will use the policy proceeds to pay for these expenses. This type of insurance policy is generally purchased in much smaller amounts, such as $5,000 all the way up to about $25,000. And it's meant to cover the funeral expenses. It's not meant to provide for your loved ones after your passing. Lastly, you could create a funeral trust yourself. This type of trust holds money until you pass, and then it pays the money to the beneficiary, which is typically, again, a funeral home or a cemetery. Using a funeral trust allows you to prepay the funeral expenses, such as a casket, burial vault, cemetery plot, urn, embalming services or cremation services, the obituary, death certificate fees, and the costs associated with the service and or an accompanying meal. This tool also allows you to make all of the arrangements ahead of time, which gives you a voice and it eases the burden on your loved ones. You will be making many of those decisions. While this option may not be common in a lot of jurisdictions, this may be an option for you depending upon your unique circumstances. So there's some other documents that are part of an estate plan that are very important because they also deal with end-of-life circumstances. So first of all, a power of attorney for healthcare allows you to appoint a trusted person as a decision maker, and that person will communicate on your behalf or may ultimately make your healthcare decisions without involving the court system. This might also be a place where you can state what's to happen with your remains. If you do not execute a healthcare power of attorney and select your own decision maker, your loved ones are going to have to go to court and have a judge appoint someone to make those decisions. The judge will reference the state statute, and that person that is appointed may not be the person you would have selected. Also, if you do not make your wishes known about what should happen to your remains, your family will be forced to make that decision. And trust me, I have seen the fighting begin when that occurs because different family members have different views. Second, a living will allows you to convey your wishes regarding end-of-life decisions, such as how long to continue artificial hydration and or nutrition, or how long to continue artificial respiration when you are either in a permanent vegetative state or you have a terminal condition in which there is no hope for recovery. This could also be a place where you could state what is to happen to your remains. Because these can be very sensitive topics, it is important that you carefully consider your wishes. Although this may take some soul searching on your part, you must know what you want to happen in certain situations so that your wishes can be properly documented and communicated to the medical decision maker. Absent specific instructions from you, the decision maker would be left trying to figure out what you would have wanted. Not only can this cause additional grief for that person, but it breeds disagreement amongst your loved ones if there's a disagreement regarding how your healthcare should be handled and your end of life decisions should be handled. In some states, including Illinois, you can include your wishes about what will happen to your remains in your estate planning documents. Again, this could be in a healthcare power of attorney or in a living will. But here in Illinois, there's also a separate document called the Appointment of Agent to Control Disposition of Remains. This will allow you to determine if you want to be cremated, if you want to be buried, or if you want your body to be donated for research or educational purposes. In this document, you will also name the person who's going to be in charge of making that decision regarding your remains when the time comes. So if you are interested in moving forward with an in-person or a Zoom consultation with me, please contact my office to schedule an appointment. As you can see on the slide, I have included our office telephone number. Feel free to give us a call and my assistant will ensure that you get on my calendar quickly. Our telephone number is 708-460-8888. You could also visit our website at www.doconnorlawoffices.com. Go to the contact page and complete the contact information. That will send us a note and we will reach out to you as quickly as possible. Thank you for watching this video regarding funeral planning. I hope it has been enlightening for you and I hope to hear from you.